The Coming of Humans, the third great Montessori cultural lesson. Do you remember what the last mammal was on the timeline of life? How had the Earth prepared for this mammal's life? The Earth had to cool, and this took a long, long time. The coral ate the minerals in the murky, dirty water. Life diversified and filled the seas. Plants came to live on the land, making soil. Insects came to live on the land, providing food for those that followed. At last, the earth was ready. Only then could the human come. A human similar to you and me. It certainly was a very long time since the beginning of the cooling of the earth until the human came. Do you see that tiny little red strip at the end of the long black line? All of the black line represents the earth without humans, all the way back to when it first formed. The red strip is when humans arrived. The red strip reminds us that human beings have been on the earth for only a very, very short time of the earth's history. Have you ever wondered what may have caused the emergence of human beings? This is a lesson that may answer some of those questions. 35 million years ago, in the Miocene era, the great apes flourished in the warm forested areas of Africa, Europe, and Asia. This was their period of greatness, but it was not to last. During the next 15 million years, the Earth entered a long period of cooling. The North and South Pole ice packs expanded, causing the rest of the Earth to become drier. The forests shrank and the deserts grew. The apes became isolated in small forested areas of Africa and Southeast Asia. They competed with the monkeys for food and habitation, and the monkeys were winning. Perhaps the monkeys succeeded because they could eat unripe fruit, which left less choice for the apes who had to wait until the fruit ripened. By 10 million years ago, there were only 4 species of apes left: the gorilla, orangutan, chimpanzee, and bonobo. Paleontologists have recently uncovered fossils of a new extinct species that lived 4.5 million years ago. Ardipithecus ramidus, ground man, who may be the root of all humans, in Aramis, Ethiopia. The fossils are human-like in that the eye teeth are smaller and the base of the skull is small, which means that the ape was bipedal, walking on 2 legs. Animals that walk with 4 legs or on their knuckles need a large base of the skull to accommodate the large muscles that hold up the head. The fossils were also ape-like though, in that the molars were small, had a white covering of enamel, which shows that it ate mostly fruit. It lived at the forest's edge. Why would apes have left the forest? Perhaps the answer can be found in Earth itself. The continent of Africa lies on 2 plates which are slowly pulling apart. A giant rift running from Ethiopia through Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique is the result of this endless pressure. Mountains also formed along the edges as magma rose from the Earth's mantle. These mountains changed the climate slowly but steadily. The area west of the rift remained moist and the forest flourished, while the area east of the rift became drier and the forest slowly disappeared, replaced by savannas or grasslands. It was on this side of the rift that a new species of ape made its home. The new ape flourished and evolved, and over the next 2 million years, several species lived in Africa, each in a particular habitat, along the lakes, at the forest edge, or in the grassland itself, and each developing different skills and lifestyles. They became tool users and ate a diet particular to their habitat. Paleontologists call this era the Lower Paleolithic or early Stone Age. Then, around 2 million years ago, the Earth became even drier. Most species of humans died off, unable to sustain themselves on the dwindling food. One, however, found a way to survive. Homo erectus was an important turning point in human evolution. They lived mainly around the watering holes of animals. Here, they could use tools that they manipulated into shapes that served their needs to either kill animals or scavenge from those killed by others. They copied the strengths they observed in other animals, using sticks like the claws of lions to dig, and axes and spears to hunt and rip open their prey. They ate a variety of food, but a good quantity of their food was meat. This new diet allowed them to eat less and receive more energy. Their brain grew and their bodies became taller, even reaching 6 feet. Their hips became more like ours, so that walking long distances became possible, and walk they did. By 1 million years ago, Homo erectus had populated all the warmer areas of Earth. While isolated in different areas, Homo erectus developed different characteristics and lifestyles related to their habitat, but their tools remained virtually unchanged for about 500,000 years. The Earth was again cooling, and many societies did not survive as the ice moved down into Europe. In Europe, one group successfully evolved into a hardy species known as Neanderthals. They had wide nasal passages to warm the cold air before it entered their lungs, and their stocky, strong bodies that conserved energy. They would live on until 35,000 years ago, when their numbers finally dwindled to extinction. Homo erectus did not survive the Earth's challenge. In Africa, however, the humans had been isolated. The Sahara had spread until North Africa was cut off, and the Kalahari Desert had separated North Africa. The forests again shrank, but human beings lived between the great deserts were evolving again. New tools were being developed, and their brain size was close to that of modern humans. When the Ice Age ended, they again walked out of Africa into the Middle East and Asia. One more geological event was to challenge the survival of the new species. 74,000 years ago, Mount Toba in Sumatra exploded in the largest volcanic eruption known to date. The Earth again cooled as the sun was blocked by huge clouds of ash. Many animals died, but this new species, named Homo sapiens, did survive. And 30,000 years ago, the Earth supported about 300,000 people. These new people moved into all habitable areas of Earth and slowly evolved into the many kinds of people that we see today. Our history on Earth is very short. 200,000 years is a blink of an eye in the history of all life on Earth. Many species, including some of our own, have tried to find a life here on Earth, only to find the challenge too great. Remember that life on Earth began its journey over 3 billion years ago with small microorganisms too small to even detect. They have led us to our present diversity. All life is interconnected with each other and with the Earth itself. It is up to each one of us to protect the Earth and the species that have evolved over so many billions and billions of years ago. Let's think about the human being for a while and talk about why the human being is so special. When the human being came onto Earth, they were very different from all the other animals that had come before. What made this human being so different and special? The mind or brain. Your mind is thinking right now. Perhaps you're wondering what I'm going to say next, or you might be thinking something else. This kind of mind that could think about things was special and belonged only to human beings. Human beings could think and wonder about the wind blowing, the rain, the stars. Some people made up and told stories about what they were thinking. People still do this today. Love. There is another thing that made human beings so different from anything else on earth. A human being could love. You can love. I can love. We can love our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, our fathers, our families, you, all the people in the whole school. Even more, you and I can love those close to us, but we can also love and care for those far away from us. We can wish that all people on earth have something to eat. In this way, we can love people we do not know or cannot see. Scientists thought it was our brain that allowed us to love and think, but there might have been something more important. When humans stood up on two legs, their hands were free to hold their babies while working and traveling. Perhaps this helped love to develop. Standing up also freed their hands to touch and hold and examine objects from different perspectives. Perhaps this helped our minds to develop. So humans have three special gifts: the hand, the mind, and the ability to love. There is something else to think about. When the human beings came to live on Earth, they could do a great many more things than plants or animals could do. Each animal and plant was given its own special life. For example, each plant grows to a certain size. Some plants have flowers, some have cones. Each animal eats what is special to its kind. Some birds eat fruit and some eat insects. Some mammals eat grass and some eat meat. All of the birds of the same kind eat the same food. But the human being eats all kinds of different things. What did you have to eat today? Not only do people eat all kinds of different things, but they live in different houses. Some live in brick houses, some in wood houses, some in mud houses. In these houses, there may be glass doors, wooden doors, steel doors, or no doors at all. Just think about all the different kinds of houses you pass on your way to school. How is it that human beings can live in all kinds of different ways? It is because the human being has these special gifts: hands which he or she can use to make things with, minds that can find solutions to problems, and love that makes us want to do things for others. Human beings walk on two legs so that the hands can be free to make things and hold those that they love. Imagine if this were not so. Think how difficult it would be if you had to crawl around and hold a pencil, or read a book, or dust, or do all the things you do every day. So that tiny picture at the end of the timeline shows us the short time humankind has been on the earth. Isn't it amazing that in this short time, this kind of life with its mind, love, and hands has done and still can do many things? The story of humankind began a long, long time ago on Earth, and the story is very exciting. There's a lot to find out about humankind and what has been happening since the human being came onto Earth.